So after 24 years, 624 launches, 4 rocket families, and 2 near bankruptcy, SpaceX is finally going public in 2026. Now, this will no doubt be one of the biggest groundbreaking IPOs in world history, second only to Saudi Aramco in valuation at IPO. But retail investors are asking, is this a good idea? Why go public now? What is Elon up to? In this video, I'll be taking you through some less known but unique perspective to the SpaceX IPO. And while it feels like Elon is playing 5D chess, while others are still learning opening theory, let's get into it. SpaceX started as a crazy idea from a crazy man with a singular goal of colonizing Mars. And the way they have gone about their processes to achieve that one goal deserves an applause. First, most aerospace companies are integrators. They buy parts from thousands of subcontractors. For example, some of Blue Origin's subcontractors include Lockheed Martin, Redwire, Sierra Spaces, and so on. But SpaceX builds nearly everything it needs in-house. This way, they can iterate weekly rather than yearly. But having a CEO like Elon makes their ideologies a bit different from traditional companies. They fail fast and treat rocket science like software development. Also, they reuse the most expensive parts of their rockets, the engine. This way, they can cut costs to about 62 million instead of the traditional 200 million for a standard rocket. But today is not the day to praise SpaceX or their nerdy founder. Our focus is on SpaceX going public and what it means for investors like you and I. It will be crazy to buy a company at $1 trillion valuation, but crazier to buy a rocket producing company with new funds. Now, if your opinion on SpaceX is that it's a rocket producing company with the sole goal of going to Mars, you've been hoodwinked. The SpaceX ecosystem is a robust one with Starlink, Starshield, NASA, and commercial services, that is, satellites for private companies. Now, rough estimates put their 2026 revenue at around 15.5 billion US dollars. Still, would it not be crazy to buy a company that is set to make 15.5 billion in 2026 at a $1 trillion valuation? Amazon reported 650 billion in 2025, Walmart 680 billion, Apple 400 billion, and even Tesla, another of Elon's company, 115 billion. So why should I buy SpaceX when it goes public, when it does not make as much money as other $1 trillion companies? Well, Elon probably thought of that also, because on February 2nd, 2026, he put a very juicy offer on the table. Elon announced that SpaceX has acquired xAI, valuing the conglomerate at $1.25 trillion, and he'll be looking to IPO at a valuation of 1.5 trillion. So wait. We're still contemplating buying SpaceX at $1 trillion, looking if it is worth it and the what is. But now, Elon has done something crazy. He's putting xAI, the company that hosts Twitter, Grok, and a few other companies, into the deal. So he's literally saying, this is SpaceX and xAI, but now I'm asking for a $1.5 trillion valuation. To be honest, I'm a bit tempted. Now, I'm not going to xAI valuation or if it is worth it, but I'll mention two things. First, the revenue is 3.8 billion, but it is burning around $8 billion per year. So the deal is strange, but somewhat smart. First, xAI's liability and debt will not be placed under the SpaceX merger. Second, it feels like Elon is trying to save xAI, but the cash burn is much more than the revenue can sustain. And so Elon is bringing it into the deal to tap into SpaceX cash flow. And again, the deal feels like xAI would stop renting server space from Amazon and can now build on SpaceX orbital infrastructure. So with this, should you and I buy SpaceX at a $1.5 trillion valuation, If you look at the story well, it seems Elon has thought of the end game much earlier. First, XAI buys X in 2025. Next, SpaceX is acquiring XAI in 2026. And who knows, maybe there will be a SpaceX and Tesla merger sometime in the future. But the new SpaceX is a company with several important infrastructure. First, we have the transport, we have data, we have the brain, and we have space infrastructure. So the $1.5 trillion seems very conservative when you look at the ecosystem as a whole. But Elon mentioned something very important. Elon mentioned plans for a space data center, and that right there was where I felt Elon was selling a story rather than reality. Now, no shade to him, he's a very brilliant man with a brilliant team, but the technical difficulties make the plan seem a bit not feasible. So here on Earth, data centers are cooled by fans or water. In space, neither exists. The only way to cool is via radiation, and the cost and scale of doing this makes it an inefficient option. Also, a technician on Earth can swap a failed node in 10 minutes. If a node gets damaged in space, it becomes space junk. The cost of repair is totally not worth it. To cap it, Elon's plans look juicy, but it is light years away from happening. Now, from a stock perspective, is it a smart thing to buy SpaceX at IPO? Well, my opinion on IPOs has not changed. There's a lot of stuff involved and private investors trying to cash out on their investment. So personally, I believe letting the dust settle is not a bad idea. Typically, I recommend a year, but that does not mean it cannot do well within that time frame. It's just that there's a stat that states that 50% of IPOs end up being lower than their IPO price after 1 year. So that is a probability I don't really fancy. So I wish Elon the best, and it will be interesting to see how this plays out, considering the fact that another big company, OpenAI, is looking to go public in 2026. It's going to be a wild year. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I would also be looking for your comments or your thought process as to SpaceX IPO. See you in the next video.